because I know the burning question on everyone's mind is my senior going to be ready to graduate? That's your main question. So that's what I'm going to be helping you figure out.
Hi, so I am Lani Carey at HomeLife Academy, a senior counselor, and I handle some of the special situations as well. We also have Mona here with us. She will be our first presenter, and we have Rebecca, who's fairly new but absolutely awesome, and she's going to be sharing with us as well. So let's see, before we get started, we did a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and its focus was mainly on seniors who were applying to four-year colleges, scholarships, testing, all that kind of stuff. And our homeschool mom, who is also a CLT representative, Kimberly, was our guest on that one. So if you missed that seminar or webinar and you've got a senior who fits that category, four-year college, looking for all the scholarship and testing information and all that stuff, then that will come out in about a week, I'm thinking. So check our Facebook pages. Jay is going to post those links at the end. And that's going to be another really important webinar for you. But in this one, we wanted to address all seniors, not just those who are going to be going to college, because we figure roughly maybe 30% of our graduating seniors go to four-year colleges, probably around 35% any given year at two-year colleges. And then the rest, they go straight to careers. They, they've got their own businesses going on. They've got their jobs. They've got, all kinds of things going on. Could be mission trips and travel for a while, So our first presenter today is going to be Mona, and she is going to briefly go over Apple Core, just, choosing the path for your senior, why we have you do that, transcript reviews, just kind of a quick summary of those, and what you need to be checking for your seniors, checking off the list in the senior year. And then Rebecca is our specialist now for common applications. And she's going to be talking about that, scholarship forms, recommendation letters, all those really important things. If your student is applying for scholarships and for four-year colleges or other things, they need recommendation letters for all kinds of things. And if you need one, she's going to be your gal. And I, of course, will be helping out as well. And so then I am going to be the last one, kind of sum up some things about graduation, our early graduation, 3-year, 5-year plans, a little bit about Tennessee scholarships, since we do have a lot of Tennessee folks on here. And you know what, as we are talking, go ahead and put your questions in there. We will try to be answering those as we go. We will answer some at the end. And Mona is actually on vacation, so we so appreciate you being here, Mona, and giving up your time in your little hotel room. And so you are going to be the first to go, and then you can take off and get some R&R. So Mona Hausman, take it away.
Hi, I'm Mona at HomeLife Academy, and that is my email if you need it, Mona, MONA at HomeLifeAcademy.com. We'll be sharing those things later too if you have follow-up questions, or I'm going to show you an even faster way sometimes to get answers to your graduating senior questions. So I'm just going to give a quick overview. I'm not going to focus on specifics like college bound, like this intense, you've got to have everything now, that kind of thing. I'm going to hopefully the things that I'm going to be sharing are going to be applicable to anyone who has a graduating senior or 11th grade, if you're doing 11th and 12th grade this year, you're doing a 3-year plan, this will also apply to you. So you'll all just be able to jump in with me, because I know the burning question on everyone's mind is my senior going to be ready to graduate? That's your main question. So that's what I'm going to be helping you figure out. And you won't see me much because I'm going to share my screen now. But it's great to see all of you out there, and I love serving all of you, and hopefully we will smoothly progress through this school year until every last one, no one falls through the cracks around here. We are trying to make sure that everyone gets exactly what they need so that your senior is set free to go forward into their next steps. So here we go. I'm going to share. You're going to find out just how tech savvy I am, which is not saying a lot, but here we go. So I'm going to share screens. And are you able to see? Yes, good. All right. So here we are, and hopefully for some of you new students, this may or may not be a familiar place to you yet, but for those students who have been around, for those parents who have been around HomeLife Academy for a while, this is Apple Core, where we post grades. This is one of our students graduating senior this year, Frodo. We all know and love him. So we're just going to use him as a sample senior. And I'm going to just, hopefully you already maybe know some of these things, but these are going to be things that help you in senior year to be familiar with and to make sure you are seeing what you need to see for your graduating senior. So first I'm going to start just by right here, add path. Frodo has not added a path. So I'm going to just click on that for you so you can see what your student what will be helpful for us as counselors to be able, when we know kind of in general what path you think your student is on, whether it's the life choice path, wide open for whatever they may need their transcript for in future, college 2 path, 2-year college or trade school, enlisting in the military, college 4 path, 4-year university is probably in your student's future, or a very specific NCAA path. Any of these are going to be great options. If you click the uncertain path, even, we are happy to help with that. But just take your best shot, best guess here. It doesn't lock you into a box necessarily, but just take a guess and click one of those so that your student will have the best answers whenever we are in there, to be able to facilitate your, what you might be needing. So Frodo, let me get back into there for you. Frodo is going to get a transcript review, a graduation review based on the path that is selected. So when you click on this graduation review button right here, each graduating senior is ideally going to receive one during the fall semester, so that in those of us counselors who are doing the transcript reviews for your graduating senior will let you know if there's anything missing, or if it looks like something needs to be tweaked, or if there's an accidental oversight, a duplicate course title or something like that. We're going to let you know about that, and we're going to send you an email. But you can also check here when you click on graduation review. You can either just simply go straight to the current credit summary, and here we would see that Frodo is right on track, except that, let's see, he needs a social studies there, and he needs a personal finance here. The asterisk means that he is working on that. And so you would see those kind of things jump out at you, and you would be able to double check that. That's a quick way to just see if your student is on. Any 9th through 12th student can check that summary and see where you stand. But when you see that a 12th grade transcript review has been done during the current school year, so then you can click this button, counselor comments, and find out if you've missed the email, find out what we've said on here. You also may notice that there was an 11th grade 12th transcript review done previously, which is also very helpful, especially if you don't have You know, if the 12th grade transcript review has not been done yet, you can review that 11th grade transcript review, because it will be pointing out the same kinds of things. If anything needs to be cleaned up, if we've noticed, you know, there's something missing maybe, or if we've just acknowledged it looks like your student is right on track for graduation, all good things. So clicking on the counselor comments here will take you straight into, you can just agree to that. It'll take you straight into the course credits that your student has completed. So you'll see at a glance, English 9 and 10, 11, 12, and then a counselor note. And in this one, it looks like Frodo is on track for graduation. Hey, those are the magic words, right, that you want to hear. And then additional notes will be towards the end of the review, so you can keep scrolling down to see if anything has been pointed out. Looks like Frodo has taken all the things that would apply to a student going on a College 4 path or any other path. So all good shape. Oh, but here, action needed. This is going to be important for you to take note of. It looks like physical science may need to be renamed in Apple Core, because let's see, physical science was completed in the 9th grade. And here it is again with a little duplicate error note there in the 12th grade. So let's take a look at that and see. I'm going to just glance right through and see if there's anything else missing. You know, everything else completed. All looks like it's in good shape. Oh, here's another one, missing final grade in Apple Core for personal finance in the 10th grade. So we'll want to take a look at that as well. And then be sure, anytime you're looking at the 12th grade transcript review or the 11th grade transcript review, make sure you go all the way down to see any other notes, because these are going to be also very helpful for you if you have a panic moment at midnight, you know, or if you are getting down to the wire and you're ready to request a final, you know, a diploma. You're ready to request that. We don't issue diplomas automatically, but right here, it's going to tell you, well, here's a link to the 12th grade checklist, so you can make sure you've done everything you need to do. But when final grades and attendance are entered in Apple Core, you can request a diploma there, right here. If you'll click right here on this link on your own 12th grade transcript review, it'll take you right to the website where it walks you through step by step the exact guidelines for if it is at midnight. You don't have to call HomeLife Academy to request a diploma. You're just going to put it straight into your own account. There are also additional helpful tips down towards the bottom with lots of links that you, if you're filling out college applications, if you need, if you're trying to do some other special things, planning sheets, for younger kids, any of those things, they're going to also be down here. Reminders, all helpful. It's not necessary. You don't necessarily have to read through every single thing in one sitting, but please know that it's there for you and will always be there for you when you need it. And if you are able to do that. So backing up to Frodo and what some of his little things that might be needed. Oh, here, there's a red button even drawing attention to Frodo's parents to show this little duplicate error. So you can go right in there and you can adjust that. You can make that correction to take a look at it. It looks like he's done some experiments with fireworks and precious metals. So, okay, well, we might not call that physical science. Maybe we'll call that something else. So in this case, you might want to just reach out to a HomeLife counselor and get some ideas for a possible course title there. Or you might decide, no, this is a duplicate class. He doesn't really need this for graduation anyway. I might just delete that right there, that little button at the end with the trash can will delete that. And you can just clean that up for him. It looks like too, Frodo is doing a 5-year plan. So, last year even, he had some missing issues, and we'll scroll down, missing personal finance and US history. We can scroll down and see where those are. Oh, yep. See, personal finance is missing a grade right there. And US history is missing some credit values. You can do this kind of thing on your own, or you can just notice that they're there and reach out, set up a time with a counselor, and we are happy to walk through that with you to make sure those corrections are in place and everything is good to go for graduation purposes. So I know I talked fast. Yes.
Mona, question. Can you just address what those little blue check marks are beside the lock button? Because, some of our parents get confused when they're trying to make those changes.
So in the transcript review, one of the little bullet points that it points out is that in the 12th grade, when we send those transcript reviews to each of you, we will lock the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade down so that we have peace of mind and you have peace of mind that everything is in there, nothing is missing. Well, except in Frodo's case here, because I did that as a sample. But if I had really done this for one of you and I saw that there was a missing grade right here, I would not lock it. I would not, I would let you still have access to that. You can just put in that, make that correction. But for the most part, let's just assume that really Frodo was right on track. And so those locked boxes right there, that gives you peace of mind that everything looks perfect and nothing has to be changed. But if you do need, and it'll say this in your transcript review, if you do find that there's an error and you need to make some changes in those previous school years, you can just reach out to me or to Katie in the records department. Either we're happy to help you make those changes or make sure, you know, that that's something that needs to happen. For those of you who have already sent a transcript for dual enrollment purposes, or you've already sent one to a college for college enrollment purposes, we are hesitant to make changes after that point. And so those locked buttons will be on there so that when you contact us, you can send an email or whatever. We just are going to double check, you know, because we've got your back. We want to make sure that nothing major or accidental gets overlooked, and so that everything is in place. So hopefully, you know, if you see those, you're not going to freak out or, you know, feel like you can't go back in to do anything. That is not the case. This just means those mainly just mean that your student is close to the finish line, and we don't want to make any major adjustments after that point. But if needed, we still can. So communicate with us. Let us know what you need, and we're happy to help. Also, I'm just, this won't stay on there, you know, this little button, this is just to get your attention, and then we can make those corrections so that everything is just right online. Also, this is fairly new for the last couple of years, this line, the 22-23 on track for graduation, or if it may say, if you do need some corrections, 22, it'll say 22-23 action needed, see review or see note. And anything that's missing, that won't show on the transcript. If you do need a transcript sent, that's just for counselor use, and it doesn't show up on the transcript. So no one else but you and us, you know, see that. That's just another way that we at HomeLife are trying to facilitate communication so that we're not having to play phone tag with you, you know, but we're trying to just be able to make sure you notice things, and then those will disappear. Once you've let us know that all the corrections are made, we're going to make sure those don't stay as a constant reminder when things have been corrected. So another feature, I get a lot of phone calls on, if you click the test button right here, this is going to show that what ACT scores or SAT scores, CLC scores. It's going to show right here what we have for you, for your student on file. So those that are going to be applying to colleges, this is helpful for you to know, and for you to know what we have. And then if there's something that's missing, you can let us know to take a look for it, or to have those scores sent to us so that we can include those on the final transcript if needed. Or you can opt to not include those. That's really fine. They're optional. But those are, that's another way to just double check that you have the information that you need. If you need to know, you can click on the summary button to see how many credits have been earned, what the GPA is, those kinds of things, helpful to have right there. So attendance, hopefully, and new students, returning students, things like that. You're going to need to post attendance for senior year, but in general, students that are graduating don't necessarily have to have 180 days. Just keep that in mind. Some students will be ready to graduate in December, and that is fine. Some students will not be ready to graduate until May or June, also fine, or over the summer. There's some flexibility, you know, and you get to basically decide when you are ready for your student to graduate. So no worries there. If there's anything else that you're considering for a high school plan, your high school plan, the 3-year plan, the 5-year plan, or going forward in the current school year, just communicate with us, send us an email, or let us know, and we are happy to help. I will point out, for those of you using a 5-year plan, Frodo was in that same boat. Many students have done that, especially over the last 3 years of the pandemic. So basically a simple way of doing that was to divide up English 12 and split it over 2 years. So quarter credit, and then here it is the next year finishing up half credit. So just some little tips on getting through senior year and some of the things that you might be looking for or unaware that you could have been utilizing in Apple Core. Some great things there. I'm going to kind of move away from Frodo for a bit here and just throw these things out to you as well. Here is on the HomeLife, so not in Apple Core. I tell people a lot, 2 different places, to find answers. Apple Core, great place to look for some of the things you're wondering about, but also the HomeLife Academy website. So separate from Apple Core, you don't even have to log in or anything, just go straight in to homelifeacademy.com. And here is the page that explains the high school transcript reviews that I just went over. You can see that, read over that. If you've forgotten everything I just said, totally fine. There it is for you. And you can glance over that as well. Super helpful. So you can just type in, I think, transcript reviews right here in the search bar, and this will pop right up. Another super helpful place to go is just by typing in checklist right here in the search bar, and the 12th grade checklist will pop up. And this is so helpful. Even if your student is not on the College 4 path, no worries. All of these things are helpful things to be aware of. Here's 5-year plan, dual enrollment, filling out the FAFSA if your student is going to college. For Tennessee students specifically, that Tennessee Promise application by November 1st, the FAFSA, all these different things include links to more guidelines that can be so helpful, when you're just trying to get a solid answer for one of your questions. Florida students requesting a diploma. This is what you're headed for, end of the year or in December, whenever your student is ready. Click on the steps for graduation link, and it'll take you right to the page that describes exactly what you're going to be doing and needing to fill out or complete. I think this is it. When you how to request documents. Here is the official transcript if you're needing one of those. The guidelines are right there, step-by-step, the dual enrollment form, step-by-step, exactly what you're needing during senior year. Backing up to the diploma, I keep hinting at the diploma request. So here it is, diploma, number 1. This is so great. Steps for graduation. This is what you'll need, how to request your diploma. It'll just help you think through, have you done everything? Has the senior fee been paid? All the different things and anything that you might have forgotten to check back on again, it'll just remind you, this is all you do. And then it's a simple process of just following the steps. You'll choose this, you'll choose in your drop-down menu for your student back in Apple Core, you will select the diploma request, put in a graduation date, and then when we get that, and if we'll double check for you again one more time, and we will reach out to you either by email or phone if there is any little thing that you've overlooked one more time, to make sure everything is right on track. This will take you through all the steps to do that, no worries. And then and we'll check back with you if needed. Otherwise, it usually just, keep in mind, it takes a couple of weeks to get the transcript review. I mean, not the transcript review. It takes a couple of weeks to get the diploma request. So allow for that margin, at the end of senior year. But if needed, you can pay a quick, maybe a $15, $20 rush fee and make sure that you get the diploma packet when you need it. So hopefully that answers the big picture idea for what you're looking for and how to find those answers senior year. Always though, in your hopefully you are familiar with your request manager, and that's not a big shock to you, but that is what I was hinting at before. If I can just get back in to here. Well, I may not be able to get there, but if you click on home, there you go. You'll click on not Apple Core this time to push your grades, but you'll click on create a request. And that is where you will see all the magic things, to be able to, in the drop down menu, pick the diploma, request. You can set up a counselor 12th grade call if you need to, to clarify some things. But this is probably the quickest way to get the kind of one-to-one answer that you need. And then at the end of the year, of course, request that diploma. All right, so have I skipped anything that needed to be covered?
I think you got it all. Of course, we can answer your questions as you go, but that was great, Mona. I think you did a wonderful job of covering everything, all things for seniors. And like she said, no worries. I think that was the most important thing you said there, because we're here to help you. And Mona is the transcript review queen. I tell you, I don't know how you do it, Mona, but she is definitely going to make sure that nothing gets overlooked. So wonderful. Unless you can think of something else, we will go to Rebecca. Are you done? Are you ready for your vacation?
I think so. I'm so, what is wonderful is that we have such a great team at HomeLife Academy. The counselors can all cover. We can, I feel like I can leave for a few days because I didn't get to leave over the summer. We had a lot of people, a lot of students graduating over the summer, a lot of it due to the pandemic issues, and ongoing things. But it is so great that whatever your needs are, it can be, we can just help each other out. And so, yes, I will take a few days off now and be ready to hit the ground running again next week. So thanks.
Okay. Well, you have a great time, Mona. Thanks so much for doing this. Okay. So Mona is going to continue on her trip. All right. Okay. Now, Rebecca, you are up next. You can just kind of briefly introduce yourself because you are new to our team and such a valued member. You have been absolutely a godsend to me, jumping in like you have. So why don't you go ahead and share some things with us about what you're doing.
Thank you, Lonnie, for the kind words. And I want to express my appreciation to Lonnie and Mona for being such wonderful mentors and trainers as I've started my professional journey with HomeLife Academy. And I'm so proud to be a part of the HomeLife family. Our family has been members of HomeLife Academy as enrollees for several years. I have a sophomore in high school, and I am really tickled to be part of the counseling team, working with our juniors and primarily our seniors, helping them get the right start on the next chapter of their lives. And so some of my specialty areas that I work in particularly is recommendation letters, and some of those little specialty areas such as the Common App, and also students that are interested in attending governor's schools, and just kind of some of those niche things. That's what I work with from day to day, and I'm so excited to be doing that. And so what I'd like to talk about first today is a Common App. It's something I'm really sitting in right now. It's Common App season, and so as we start seeing students getting started with the application process to college, Common App is, of course, becoming a more and more consistent part of that journey for our families. So the first thing that I would always encourage a family to do, a HomeLife Academy family to do, is to list me as your counselor on Common App. And you do that just by entering my email address. I did post it in the chat. It's Rebecca@homelifeacademy.com. And once you do that, Common App will send me an email and say, Jane Smith added you as their counselor. And then pretty quickly, you will receive an email from me, a pretty detailed email, kind of introducing myself, telling you what I need from you in terms of communication and information, supplemental information for your student, and some of that I'm gonna go over here. So it is imperative that you list a HomeLife Academy counselor. Typically, it's myself or Lonnie, and if you've worked with Lonnie in the past and you want to continue to do so, please feel free to list Lonnie as your counselor. She is wonderful in continuing to take care of those families that she has had communication with in the past. So don't feel like you have to So switch over to me if you've been with Lonnie throughout your home life journey. But once you list one of our Home Life Academy counselors, it is important that you list Home Life Academy as your high school in Common App, because if you don't do that, then Home Life Academy will not be able to provide our counselor recommendations, our school report, which includes a class rank, class size, GPA, official transcripts, any of those services we will not be able to provide for your student if they don't list Home Life Academy as their high school. So that's really important to remember. Now we get lots of questions about class rank. Class rank is determined by the ACT or SAT or CLT score that we have on file. Now, we have to receive those scores from the official governing body of that test. And if you need instructions or guidance on how to do that, please feel free to send me an email and I'm happy to provide that information to you. It's a little too fiddly to go over in this format, but I'm happy to provide that information to you. And it's a fairly straightforward process. Now, if your student has not yet taken the ACT or the SAT or the CLT, but they plan to in the future, just make sure you list Home Life Academy as their school, as their high school when they take the test. And then those test scores will just be automatically sent to us and it'll be part of their file. For the scores to be included on the transcripts, we do have to have them, again, officially on file, receiving them from the governing body of that test. And so we are always happy to do that. And so once we have the test scores on file, we can assign class rank. We can provide supplemental information for maybe students who have exceptionally high test scores of some other scholarship opportunities that are available to those high performing students as well. Another big part of my job these days is cultivating recommendation letters. And this is something we get a lot of questions about. Why do we need a recommendation letter from Home Life Academy? Is this required? How are you going to write a recommendation letter for my student when you've never met my student, you've never met our family? And these are all great questions. And so we do have some general guidelines that we send out to our parents. Again, if you have questions about this, don't hesitate to send me an email. I'll be happy to send this out to you. But in general, we love to receive information from parents. Now in Common App, there's different categories of recommendations a student can receive. There's a counselor recommendation, which is like a high school guidance counselor. That would be me or Lonnie. And we're happy to provide that. It's a very official high school counselor-esque recommendation letter. Now, there's also recommenders on Common App, and those can be mentors, family friends, teachers that they've taken courses with. And that's a great way to plug those mentoring adults into your students' Common App journey, is to assign them as a recommender, and then they can provide a recommendation letter based on their unique experiences with your student. But we love to provide these professional guidance counselor-esque recommendation letters for your students. And all that we really need to do that is just a couple of paragraphs from those who know them best. That's you, the parents. So we just ask for really specific, just supplemental information. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be in a perfect letter format. Just bullet points is good enough to kind of get us going. And so we love to get specific information that you want to see in the recommendation letters. Your students' goals, their passions, their strengths, personal qualities, unique skills that they have, their character traits, any antidotes that kind of demonstrate these unique things about your student. That's what we love to have on hand to cultivate these recommendation letters. And as I said, don't worry about grammar, punctuation, any of that information. Don't worry about getting the exact GPA or class rank. Once I get the supplemental information from the parents or guardians, then I will craft the recommendation letter, and then I will go into our files and I will find all of that other information, their GPA, their test scores, the class rank, anything like that that we would need to really round that letter out and make it just what they need to be a good general recommendation letter that can be used at any institution of higher learning. And once we cultivate those, we do save them. They're in your file. They can be used in multiple formats. So whenever I upload a recommendation letter to Common App for a student, that goes in the student's file. And so if you ever need another general recommendation letter, just let us know and we'll already have that on file, and it'll be really quick turnaround to send that to you or to the requesting party. As for scholarship applications, if you have a scholarship application, a special recognition application, anything that calls for a high school counselor to vouch for the student, please send those to me. Those definitely qualify under what I do. And I am happy to be your high school counselor for that circumstance. And a lot of times, all those scholarship applications really want is an official transcript, a signed, official, stamped transcript. It's kind of a seal of approval from a counselor saying, yes, they're enrolled. Yes, they're in good standing. Yes, this is their GPA. And I'm happy to provide all of those services. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. I have found that Common App is a very straightforward platform. It's intense. Once you get into it and start filling out the application, it is an intensive application process. But once it's done, it's done. That's the beauty of Common App. And so if you have questions about Common App, their YouTube channel is really wonderful. They have great videos about different aspects of overviews for first year students and other probably questions that they get a lot. So again, if you like the links, you can visit their YouTube channel directly and find those. I also have those pretty easily at hand that I can send out to folks. The last thing I'd like to say about Common App is I really want to encourage you to encourage your students to stay very plugged in to the process of Common App, because there could be lots of deadlines that come up, and Common App is really good about telling you these are the next deadlines. If you're wanting early admission, that's coming up pretty quickly. If you're wanting mid-year, that's coming up. And so we always encourage the students to stay very connected to their Common App journey as well, so they understand what deadlines are coming up, and they can do what needs to be done on their end to meet those as well. Again, if you ever have any questions, I know I've said this 2 or 3 times, but I really mean it. If you ever have any questions, don't ever hesitate to send me an email. It's Rebecca, REBECCA @HomeLifeAcademy.com. You can also make an appointment with me on the Calendly link that I posted in chat, and I'm happy to chat with you about Common App, recommendation letters, scholarship applications. If you have younger students, governor schools, I'm happy to talk about all of those things with you and your students.